Working Fans Podcast. Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Coming down 3, 2.
Welcome back for another week of the Working Fans Podcast. This is AJ. I'm the former wrestler. We've got Dave, the ultimate fan, here with us. As we do every week, our producer Joe likes to make us sound good and makes us look way more professional than we actually are. As always, you can find us on Twitter, that's @FansWorking, Facebook, Working Fans Pod. We've got email where you can reach out to us and please contact us to let us know what you think of the podcast and for any ideas that you might have. That's workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram where you can keep up with us at workingfanswrestling_pod. And then you can now listen to us on all major platforms, including Anchor.fm. We're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and you can actually check us out on YouTube. Now, it's important when you go onto the Apple Podcasts and YouTube, hit that subscribe button, give us a rating, let us know what you think so you can help us out and we can continue to do what we love and bring you guys in as fans.
Hey guys, it's producer Joe here. This is the 531 where we bring our top 5 list, debate it down to a top 3, and then from there work our way down to a top 1. I'm dealing with the death of my dad this week, so I wasn't here for recording. But this was such a good topic that I wanted to record something and at least get my teams in there. So my top 5 for the underrated tag teams are the SATs, or as they were known in MLW, Los Maximos, Joel, and the other guy, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. Number 2 on the list is the Hollywood Blondes. Number 3 is Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham. I would say they're underrated just because what they're doing is on ROH, and right now that's just not seen by as many people. Number 4 on my list is the Graysons. You'll see these guys a lot in NEW, and they are just a great tag team. They've done matches with Insanely Rude and Private Party that have just been real good. And number 5 on my list is Roppongi 3K out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And even within that team, you've got Yo and Sho. And I would say Sho is probably the higher prospect, while Yo is a great wrestler that he's not getting overshadowed by his partner, but a lot of people see more potential in one than another. And it's tough for them because they're paired with Rocky Romero coming off the Roppongi Vice team, and they didn't catch on like Roppongi Vice did, but they are having a good run, so they are definitely a team worth checking out. So that's my note on the 531, and you guys take it easy. Have a good one.
All right, it's Dave here with AJ, and we're about to kick off our 531 this week. We're looking at most underrated tag teams. So basically your favorite underrated tag teams. I got lists from Jesse from New Hampshire. I got a list from Jake, and I got a list from Zach. AJ, what do you think? You got a list ready?
Oh, I've got a list ready, and I'm excited. I've been waiting to get a hold of this Jesse from New Hampshire since you guys interviewed him last week.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll start off with Jesse's list then, all right?
Let's go.
Jesse had a very good list. Some of his names didn't make it on a list, but they're unique. I liked them. Number 1, the world's greatest tag team. Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin. I think you'd like that one.
I love that one.
Number 2, the 2-man power trip. Stone Cold, Triple H. Number 3, the Eliminators. 4, Eminem. And 5, AJ, I know you would have definitely had this one on your list. You probably do. Kidman and Rey Mysterio.
Oh, absolutely one of my favorite tag teams. How could that miss, really?
All right, I'll continue on. We'll go with the fans here. Jake had Power and Glory. The Hollywood Blonde, Art Barr, and Eddie Guerrero. I don't think they'll make your list. Doom and the Skyscrapers.
Nice.
And then another list here real quick. We'll go Zach. He had Power and Glory also. They're brothers, by the way.
Okay, first of all, Power and Glory were not brothers.
Barr and Guerrero, too, as well. The Blondes, as well. And this one surprised me, given if you know how old Zach is. The Rougeau brothers made his list. All right. What do you got?
Well, first of all, I'm annoyed because, way to steal my thunder, Zach. I've got the Rougeau brothers on my list.
All right.
To me, one of the tag teams who made everybody else look good. They truly are one of those tag teams that just were underrated in what they could do for others. And they're performing in the ring. Not only that, but they were great as heel and as face tag team. I 100% agree with Jake with the Hollywood Blondes. So I think the Hollywood Blondes don't get enough. Unfortunately, between what Brian Pillman did with his anti-Booker gimmick and with what Stone Cold Steve Austin became, I think that both of them don't get remembered enough for how great of a tag team they were. And I actually, believe it or not, have the other Hollywood Blondes actually on my list. I think that we don't talk enough these days about Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel as a team, or Pat Patterson combination with Ray Stevens. People forget that that they were a combination of the Hollywood Blondes also.
I'll take your word for it. I couldn't actually remember who the original Blondes were. So
it's Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson.
Okay.
Great tag team. Then from there, our Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero, as you know, were on my list.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
So one of the truly great tag teams. I think that it's sad the only reason that they stopped was Art Barr obviously passing away. So it's sad that we didn't get to see more of that.
They were a really good team.
I do, however, disagree with Jesse from New Hampshire. I am not a big fan of Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman as a tag team. I think
way to note that.
No. I just wanted to make sure you knew they weren't on my list.
What's that?
I knew there was some doubt because you said they might be on my list. I just wanted to tell you why they didn't make my list.
Okay.
My last tag team is actually an old NWA team. I am a huge fan of the Briscoe brothers. I think Jack and Jerry from Mid-Atlantic Wrestling told great stories in the ring and were a great tag team and underrated these days.
Well, we go, as you know, with people, the majority of opinions rules. And actually, the Hollywood Blondes were on Jake and Zach's list and your list. And I'm about to do my list, which also has the Hollywood Blondes, so they'll be making it in. That's Pillman and Austin. But also on my list, Davey Boy and Owen, I thought were an underrated tag team.
You went with them over the Anvil and Owen?
The Anvil and Owen? Yes, I absolutely did. I thought you were going to say the Hart Foundation. I'm like, well, the Hart Foundation are underrated. But yes, the Anvil and Owen actually slipped my mind. I'll beat myself up about that later. The Rockers, even though they were a great team, they never officially had the WWE tag title. So in my mind, a little underrated considering how good they were. This team I don't think gets enough credit. Iron Anderson and Bobby Eaton. And the last team to make my list, besides the Blondes I already mentioned, Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat. Had a lot of great matches, would go on to great singles careers, but I thought they had a really good chemistry and worked well against the Dangerous Alliance and Gordy and Williams.
The funny thing is two of the teams that I almost mentioned were similar to what you mentioned. Because I almost mentioned Iron Anderson, but with Larry Zbyszko from the Dangerous Alliance. And I
thought about Zbyszko, but I just thought Bobby and Iron were a little better. But
I also almost went with Dustin Rhodes, but I almost went with him with Barry Windham.
I thought about them. That was actually, it was neck and neck. I thought him and Steamboat brought a little something different.
But it's funny that we almost had different variations of each other.
Oh, yeah. I do want to say, though, judging by my numbers here, we got narrowed down to 3, but we have 4 teams that all seem a good amount of votes. Well, the Blondes got 4, Art Barr and Guerrero got 3, and the Rougeaus and Power and Glory both got 2.
Wow.
So, to join the Rougeaus of Barr and Guerrero, I'm going to ask you for your opinion. And I think I already know the answer to this because you picked the Rougeaus. But are you changing your mind and thinking, Power and Glory would have been the way to go?
Not even remotely. and I'm going to be honest here. It's mainly because I blame Paul Roma for ruining the Horsemen.
I I actually had a lot of talks this week about how Paul Roma was underrated and a good tag team wrestler.
No, and he was underrated and a good tag team wrestler. Him and Jimmy Powers, him and Hercules, I think they did make a good team. They just had the least amount of personality, whereas to me, the Rougeaus had the total package of being able to work in the ring and a great personality.
If I got to pick one team to move on mechanically in the ring, it's kind of hard to go against the Rougeaus when you're combining those two.
Well, plus, how do you go against All-American boys?
That actually was working against him, but I went into spite. All right, so now we got the Blondes. I think we know who we're going to eliminate first from this. Bar, Guerrero, and the Rougeaus. Rougeaus, you made it in, but you're making it out.
They went over the top rope first in our Royal Rumble.
100%. I don't think we're going to disagree. I mean, again, it's also partly our favorite underrated teams, and I think we're both partial to the Hollywood Blondes and Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero here.
Yeah, to be honest with you, as we go down this list, I think it's going to be unfair to everybody as to which one's going to win this one.
Well, let's see, because I don't know if you agree. We'll find out. I got to go with Pillman and Austin. I
am also going with the Hollywood Blondes. As much as I love Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero, too small of a sampling to actually go head-to-head. You're talking about a team in Pillman and Austin that just really set the bar, no pun intended, as to what a tag team could be. Whether it's coming to the ring with the cameras, whether it was mocking the Horsemen, whether it was just doing in-ring work, you're talking about two guys that could go from the moment the bell.
The flair for the old stuff is still some of the best work, and I'm a Flair guy. I love Flair, but the stuff they were doing right there was just some great heel work.
Yeah, the flair for the old was great. Imagine what they could have done 15 years later.
Oh, yeah. They had, 100%. All right, well, I guess that's going to do it for the 531 this week, guys. Me and AJ actually didn't argue a lot. We agreed on these guys. So,
however, do not think this will carry over to the next 531 that we do.
Which might be later in the episode. We'll see how this goes today, folks. All right, that's it for this week's 531 about tag teams. This is the Working Fans Podcast. We'll see you.
Guys, thank you for listening to the 531 here on YouTube this week. If you like what you hear, you can always find us on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and on the Apple Podcast where you can subscribe and also give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate you listening. We want your feedback, 531, and if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we also want you to let us know, and let us know what your 531 would be. Come up with a top 5 and let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. And in order for us to do that, please contact us on Twitter. We're at Fans Working. Facebook page, Working Fans Wrestling Pod. Email workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. It's very important that you actually contact us on these platforms because we want this to be your interactive place to talk wrestling.